Hi. I saw all these chakra dancing videos, and I thought it was quite interesting. And I'm gonna have to speak about really weird stuff, impossible stuff, unbelievable stuff, and links I've made between different types of dances and body movements, and the way they're used for kind of cleansing your habits or your bad habits, or what is doesn't come from you but from narcissistic occupation, or how do you say, narcissistic manipulation, mind control, mental suggestion, subconscious commanding, unconscious commanding, the power of scientists or psychics, I guess. I don't know how exactly to call this thing, but personally, I'm kind of called or feel really concerned when they say one, and often I flash. I don't know if one is in every group and it happens all the time, but whenever there's a big concert on the Plains of Abraham in Quebec, well, I kind of dig holes in the crowd when there's 20,000 people, and I'm the one that the clickety-clacks put in evidence that attracts all those girls and rats, that has all the women with them. That's kind of the commander or something. You get this commanding advantage, and what you say really affects people around you. So when you're in that position, a lot of people do not appreciate Jesus or a leader, or what they call best. I had gangsters calling me best, mon best, my best, for a long time. And well, to notice that ses amis means his friends, but it also sounds like sesame. The sesame buns, bun in French is maid, so it's his maid friends or best friends. The friends of the best are usually hippie killers. Well, hippie kind of migrated to metal and grindcore and brutal truth stuff, and to counter-attack and to resist, and to stay alive with all those people, with the whole world against them. You turn around one day and it seems like everybody you meet is against you or programmed. I don't know how or what. No, I know how. It's the TV and the divas and video games and speeches and the Pope and whoever was on top of that pyramid that used to rule over us with that all-seeing eye. So we kind of get that. When we get the black, we have, I guess it's because of reason, virtue, and good values, and honesty, and whatever, our temper, the way we are. Probably honesty gives us, since the pyramid turnaround, the change in the social structure, it gave us a dictator or commanding powers, which I prefer to refer to as inspiring, because we actually inspire and love whatever is below. Whatever is below, well, has love on top of their head, affecting them. They don't like that, so they'll always try to take control of the best or the leader. There's always this eternal fight. Whenever you're in public, you have this Ace of Spades. Let's listen to the Motorhead's Ace of Spades. And he says it's the only kind I see, but kind as a kind, but kind as a kind person. And the Ace of Spades, a spade is to dig your grave. So whatever the kindest thing he sees is something that makes him dig his grave. Whenever he's playing around in his mind and all that. And when you're in a best or a leader position, or you're living or going through oneness, you have all these intruders in your personal bubble or in your inner self. They can affect they manage, when you're in an apartment building, when you look at Skywalker, they have a Skywalker Mall, Skywalker Complex, big buildings for Skywalker. That's an image to say that a best or a hero or a rainbow warrior, a fighter, a resistant, somebody with convictions, with mentality, somebody strong, of character, with strength of character, all that, that will be a victim. But that's not what I actually wanted to say. I got lost in my enumeration. So the best gets a Skywalker. It's a complex or mall because he actually has probably the whole world in Star Wars living inside of him or inside of his mind, because he's the best. He's the last, or a Jedi mentor or something. It might have been Obi-Wan for a while. It might have been whoever. And then the rise of Skywalker, well, how she fights alone, that sword fight when you're the last man standing. That's how you feel, like everybody's against you. Everybody's turned fascist or behaves in this conflictual, provocative way in order to make you make mistakes and get you arrested, or drive you nuts to be able to declare you crazy when you know too much. So that shuts you up. And that's all because of narcissistic occupation of the mind. Because before, when the pyramid was up, now it's down below in the basement, underneath the inverted pyramid, like they had in the Louvre, with an opening on the energy in the universe. That's the psychic social structure. The dictatorial pyramid is below and is being inspired by what's above, and the widest part above is all against 1% below. They're not against, they love the 1%. If we end up losing our bees and losing our food, we might eat the rich, so that's only 1% against 99. So guess who's the majority? And that was just a parenthesis. Because a lot of those, because I love you, you used to be mean, and used to mean vice or narcissists or alpha manipulators, or them that considered themselves, that identified themselves to us, actually stole all the words we use the most and identified themselves or something they do, which is evil, which was evil, getting us to scare us and manipulate us and bug us and whatever, do with sabotage, intimidate, scare, whatever, with all that narcissistic manipulation. I skipped again in my mind, because that's not the conclusion I wanted to get to. This narcissistic manipulation. I love you. Okay, yeah. So you used to be evil, and I was the I that was supposedly, well, that was at the top of the pyramid. I think they still have their own I in their dictature hell of dominant, winner, city capitalist game that keeps us in this reality where we enslaved almost, and that kept us in this reality that, well, that's how they feel. They're kind of enslaving themselves, the fascists, and creating all these needs they don't need, especially that fucking line nostril thing that's so annoying. That's those tetons that play inside you. I'm extra sensitive. I'm some sort of a Skywalker. I'm brave. Makes me flash. I confronted my worst fears. I confronted fear all my life. I had the three redheads on my back my whole life. All the friends I've made were there to kill me, or swindle me, or take advantage of me, or get me on a rope, or on drugs. That was the only kind I would see, was kind, friend, hypocrite, and traitor. They all screwed you over, and they all played us. The sounds they took was E, A, on. E as in he. E and he is was evil, was evil. Now I consider myself as E, and I think they call me he too. And when you're it, whatever they put on the love, you become. So I'm the fruit of musicians, and whoever wrote here wrote with love and the truth of the universe, and of ancestors, and whatever, and cultural revolution uh, built with theater, movies. The old movies, no, old movies were Nazi fascist traps, or American traps that wanted to take over the world, that would break couples, that would separate the apostles, bug them randomly, and get them away, not noticing themselves, disturbing them so they don't end up together, doing whatever just to keep them separated. Gotta keep them separated. And then to isolate Jesus, or the one most likely to succeed, or the best, or the true leader, the one that is living and going through extra sensibility, that has more buttons on his game controller. He notices he turns heads, and the way he speaks affects and turns them almost into robots. And people are being robots a lot of their life under this lamp that used to be dictated by who, the Pope, that was a Nazi, or in a fascist church that intimidates you with a dead hero, who's your dead hero on a cross that they make you wear in your neck, and always have it above you, and all the way into the parliament buildings. This religion based on intimidation and this fear of hell. That's what they put in front. They put fear. They put punishment in front. But they tempt you into those temptations in order to punish you, because what they want is to punish. It seems that what they wanted was to punish, because there was crosses all over the place, and everybody was kept shut up. John was kept shut, even if he be good, Johnny B's good, they still shut him up. They were after the good night, and they even changed good night as in sword bearer, night sword. You got to program those logical flow of words. You got to lead the word to the next logical mantra to have an effect. A two night and one night, a night will fight whatever is intruding you, whatever is occupying you. And the I love you is meant that the I, the good, the law, the government would love the vice. Why? That's probably why there's a vice president. It's probably a vice squad or something leader. But then the vice president made it over the I. Well, yeah, actually you was after I. The right, you, which evil is on the right, and it's right is ego related, and causes jealousy, and the root of all evil starts there, from not having what you want, what you desire, what you need. But and then the left was supposedly the eye or the good. Well, good is left. There's some good on the right, but most likely they had more tendencies to develop evil behaviors that didn't belong to them, that were kissed magically. Kisses, but with their love, but with the love, it's a phone, it transports emotions, feeling, thoughts, magic, psychic powers. You can control muscles with love. Other people's muscles, like turn heads. And I can affect people. I notice that when I tan and when I get all like tightened, it has an effect. The lights turn blue, and I, and then I noticed that there was this zone that I had access to that would either be someone else's mind or mind space, or a spirit, the soul, the essence, dimensions, and a whole bunch of stuff. And there's this dimension or this black area where the you rats most likely are rats and pigs and evil satanic sheeps and evil witches and that do evil witchery and witchcraft. And witchcraft is not all evil, but there's good and evil witches. This is very strange. I don't expect you to believe me, but you shouldn't ever believe, you should become. So become aware of that type of thing's existence, because it would only open up your horizons and open up your reality and get us out of the past and get us out of the Bible that's created a cage and this story that even the Noah's Ark is going to happen when the glaciers melt down. They won't melt down. We're going to find a solution. We have to verbalize the future. So that's why we don't say that everything's going to flood. No, nothing's going to flood. We're going to stabilize this climate crisis and everything's going to do well. But that's by verbalizing right here. That's where you create reality. That is really strange. But that when you think of that, now there's whiskey in there. There's a present for people that want presents. You say just in case, it's a big profit planner. I changed words and what they did because all the words and mantras were programmed with a certain effect, but these should be associated to their parent elements or element combinations or create molecular they would create mantras, molecule structures, and associations between elements and stuff like that. And in French, we say maladie. That means evil said. The maladie, but maladie is an illness, is a sickness. So a sickness is French, is evil said. So whatever you say evil creates evil or creates sickness. If you focus on yourself, you grow. Focus on shit grows. Focus on sickness, well, sickness will grow. Speak about sickness, well, sickness will continue to exist and come back. That's why we should never speak about negative or bad things, because they happen. We create our own reality. I can see reality shift like a video that's cut off all the time when I listen to YouTubers' videos. So to come back to I love you, well, you was evil, and you uses rats in French. Is an evil person, and when you get ratted out, you get traitor or treason or cuffed or whatever. when you get ratted out, usually only evil people appear to be ratted out because good people don't do anything wrong, so they don't fear being ratted out. But their type of ratting out is also swindling and destroying good and the good night that they transform into good night, go to bed night on the Harley Quinn's bat, baseball bat. So that's why we have to reconsider good night as being a good night. But night is purely human and Christian related a night. That's a Christian invention. It's a Christian means of defense. It might just be effective in the Christian cage and on earth. Because we are, I'm sorry, I personally was a theist all my life. I do believe in God, though, but I'm a theist because they are not my master. I don't have a God of my own, and I don't have any God masters or Titan masters or whatever masters, because I realize my reality. So the way I believe will position myself in history and in the present moment and in this dynamic social structure according to what I believe in the way I treat and think about myself. So that's why a positive attitude is very important. So the the I love you. Well, when I speak about occupation in the Skywalker, that's a man, or in French, man noir, they consider themselves as ma. They took ma, which is ma, mine, and ma is the post on the boat. Pirates have ma on their mas. Mas is plural, mas, M-A-S. Uh, I snorted when I said ma. That's a French defense system because they open at ma and then you get the snort up the ass. So it's a kind of an attack thing, an attack reflex that it's installed in himself. They tried to kill me all my life, so I'm sorry, but I don't pay attention to what I say. And if I have a deadly tongue, it's because it's the time to have one because somebody's really dangerous or doing something really evil or terrible to my mind. So you should never change your autopilot and always speak with love and honesty and spontaneity. And don't worry about how you say what. Love and honesty will say it properly. And to the right person, to the concerned entities, and on the right level of the period, the time glass, hourglass structure of X. We're like this, the king is down here. As the whole society are inspiring him and telling him how to lead the ones below that are that need to be dictated, because that's what they were working for. It was a Christian capitalist racing society based on the gene six, Genesis. Six in French is six, Genesis, the gene six. Diogène, the snap, the dio, God, and gene again. It was the Epicurean, the Diogenes or whatever you say in English, Diogène. He was a poor and walking around with principles because most good people end up poor and whatever thinkers there are, they all end up sabotaged and alone and womanless and whatever, just girls all over and kids to raise and a zoo to play with and a cat on the back, giving them cancer and all that. So that's why I call those YouTubes, because yeah, I feel energy inside of me. It's like this pasta, I call it dough. That's why Homer Simpson says dough and there's the Dow Jones. What dough is flour and water. We serve the water, John serves the water. So you used to serve the flour, the powder, the cocaine. That's the link I made with dough. And I think it's pretty dead on kind of thing. I usually imagine things that are true from being it, but for so long and having all that printed into my mind and from channeling other mind spaces and other levels of existence by communicating with them, knowledge seems to come in. And more than once have I imagined theories and things on my own to see them spoken about on YouTube a few weeks later. So me, I have this wire and this long thing that hurts and crunches and keeps you from being dead on what you're trying to unwrap. It's all these wrapping sock. You know when they put a sock on their head to burn your eyes? Sometimes you have one of them that keeps your eyes from communicating and keeps you from being able to kiss or from getting eye contact with the person. There's this sock, and I have these tubes I call YouTubes because it's you rats and you that you now is you is actually the person you is the person you're speaking to you now. But you they stole that term too to scare us with it, and they considered themselves being you. And the logic in that was that people will never say something evil or bad to you because you they thought was the person in front of them. So with the habit, they always would speak something kind because they all kind of became hypocrites and speak behind their backs instead of saying each other's truth when it's negative. Or they'll use other words that mean something else to kind of show you. But they'll never really say you are ugly or you are something evil. Because even if they after a while they kind of know that some people, especially the ones that went on your side, they knew that you meant evil. They would speak with word games, word language. So that's why I love you is when good loved evil. So when you're an activist and you're in the street manifesting and they can't arrest you because you're non-violent and that you do everything you're supposed to and there's no destruction or nothing, then that's when that time there's the yous that infiltrate whatever we do. They love and copy. They love it because we always put what we like on the love. So they're the love, they're the problem. Those are yous, or what yous used to be. Those are bad habits, and yous change habits and change stuff in magical spells that we call roses. That by narcissistically crawling up to your mind and giving you instructions. When they make it over the neck into the head and the pasta up here, they hide the tubes go all over. They kind of have this toboggan to play around, and the tubes contract and kind of glue with crunchy stuff. I think that's why they called it crack. It's because when you're dependent, I'm a dependent. A little bit of smokes and sometimes speed. So when I do speeds, I get all these crunches in my head that crunch and want to get crunched, and they're always exactly where this thing hurts in my neck, and it always moves. It always moves exactly where you're trying to center your head on the top of that spiral sock thing that has love on top, where the head of the snake is, or the rat. So this is how I meditate with music. When I don't really pay attention, all of a sudden I'll surprise myself, kind of going like this, and I can feel the wire and the dome that curls around, and I'm kind of on twisting and crunching the tape in the opposite direction so it doesn't crawl back in the same place all the time. Because all those roses and that are bad habits or things that remind you of what you shouldn't do, most of the time they remind you of bad habits. They ask you questions on what's in front of you. They ask you questions on where you're at, where you're going, who you're with. And then they make you, they bug me with this snot thing. There's a cat that crawls up here and it won't be okay until he makes it up there. And when I speak to someone or try to look serious, well, this appears in my nose all the time. That's a curse. It's a curse that you have to break the spell by undoing all the spreading love all over the wire and following the movements. The movements will lead to objects, and they'll actually put their spirit into objects that you love. And then they'll take a few objects that you love, and then they'll start leading to white. For me, they lead to white powder or white crumbs. And I think for a lot of people, that's what they lead to. It's just that since I get in contact with it, I opened up those ways a lot more, so they're a lot more noticeable. But I think everybody has those their attention attracted to those white crumbs without noticing them because they don't do it, and without actually looking at them or feeling the, because they usually, it's the fact of seeing those to a need feeling in your pants, a need. And when I say need, I go, I squish and I squeeze the nose real good to feel it really nice. Oh, I think I know that I need this, eh? Well, it's actually saying need to the person connected to that wire. And they say all the bad words on there because it's always playing around in there. So it always comes back, and it always tells you to put it back. And maybe you go see Anne or the guy that tries to kill everybody to tell him to get him and shove it up his nose. You kind of try that, try to hurt her. Try a lot of stuff, hurt her heart when she's in there. You hurt her heart so she fucks off. Whatever. There's a lot of stuff we can do without touching each other. And constantly fighting. I don't know why I have all this manner stuff of people inside of me. And in my area, the friends I have on Facebook, I think whenever they see one of my posts, they get an update on what I've been working. And I'm constantly dancing around and correcting movements, trying to get this thing in here not to touch or feel. So that you have to go real slow and let your body move to the music. Oh, I touch it, you have to go back and go the other way. I'll touch it again. And then you try to make it all the way around without touching the nostril thing. But when you touch it, touches the phone, so they feel it. Because when you touch the phone and feel something, the person on the phone feels it too. The phone is a sexual feeling. It's a sex chakra. Around the sex chakra, there's the rats and the ones that play with your knee, or they find your favorite drop and start making you need stuff. So when you touch the love, usually the person looks at what she wants. But if you're a dependent, it kills you because what you want is something deadly. Only music and people speaking to you can change what you want to something good. But usually, bad people will possess those good objects and lead you to something destructive, like cola, candy bars, candy, mayonnaise, butter, greasy meat, meat fat, saturated fats, drugs, addictive drugs, opiate medication, barbiturics, whatever pills you can get onto, and then smokes and whatever. So yeah, so in order to get that sequence out, you kind of got to stare at, you kind of go numb and really relax, but kind of shifting around a bit. And then you let the music enter your body, your ears, and you start by throwing the music on your sex chakra, on where you feel the love. And you put the music there, and it will put you into the music's program, and it'll start moving your body around, and you'll feel all these little crumbs of horny feeling, of kind of sexual love feeling. All those crumbs are all rats and bad influence people or animals that crawl up those YouTubes. I call them YouTubes because it's the U's that use them, and they're all in the back. And all you get all these habits of getting two rats up and popping them up to the cellar. When they're up here, they command you. So they won't, and then whenever you're not thinking about and you think, that's when they start talking to you and you don't hear them. So if you don't hear them, you can't do the opposite thing. You can't do the contrary. You can't say don't do it. What I kind of do is I go, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and I let it go wherever it wants or whatever, because my brain knows where it's supposed to go and where those things are. But if I try to do them, I don't press on the right spot. And by numbing out and letting the music go, an object, and letting your eyes real numb, real soft, and really like whatever a whisper can just make them shift. You know, you go real numb right now, and you'll and relax, and you're relaxed right now. I'm relaxed. I don't contract any muscles intentionally. Don't contract any muscles intentionally. They'll start contracting on their own and taking you on a trail, on this kind of trip, a voyage. Me, what it does is it untwirls that wire that plays in my nose all the time, the line thing button. And then and then I command. You have to command yourself. And sometimes you can talk to whatever rats are affecting you. When you speak on those crumbs, directly on the crumb, they're really hard to catch because the tubes stretch open and they kind of float in the middle. You kind of have to squeeze it right on this X of the squeeze and get the accordion or violin or a cello or something to rub that love sand crumb. It's not bigger than a grain of salt, and there's tons of those up here. And then you feel them. Girls will feel them down there because girls will collect a whole bunch of males and bettas and rats, and they'll all stick to her because they think she's pretty. So they're all kind of making their way inside of her, trying to get her mind to love them and all that, and manipulate her. But actually, her true love would have instant access, and she wouldn't feel the manipulation. She would just naturally become better with her true love, her soulmate. But with all the others that manipulate together, she'll always feel a bit confused and daydreaming, kind of, and sucked up on, like drained, because they kind of drain your attention while they manipulate you. And drain, just kind of just keeping you open and awake. And that's when you're awake that they can get inside your mind and feel make you feel that energy of all that goes on and how beer flows and whiskey flows and rum and tequila and whatever wine and tea and all those different flavors that you get from that dough inside of you when you're working on those roses. And I think I'm in a position where whenever I fix something, I see all these profile pictures showing you the next day because I play around with wires and dynamics between people. And since I have all these people, because I'm a tattoo artist, I get clients all the time, and I'm they sabotage my reputation, they sabotage my mentally whatever happens to somebody that looks at my ad, they add comments and that there's some comment here that says not to call me or not to call in my shop. And then whenever they say my shop name, you get the snot bugging you around, and it's really annoying. So I had, but all those clients, a lot of times, I think they know that I change all this all the time. So they try to come kiss me all the time, and give me more roses, and to haunt whatever objects, because they automatically make sequences and continue the kiss every time they show up without even trying. And then they even do sequences on purpose. This one, that one, that one. You have to go, this is it, this is it, this is it, without thinking, and you'll see the object that flashes. If you're clairvoyant and if your third eye is open, you just say, this is it. It's this, this, this. It seems like it's a skateboard right now. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. Yeah, the skateboard. It's the skateboard that's playing around way out. So the skateboard would be possessed by a bad influence, because that's what flashes when I say it. They hide behind objects, and all their evil friends become the other objects that they look at in the order they look at them. So then you get all this evil family maintaining you in consumption and making you feel that you don't have enough, that or keeping you on TV on this type of program that keeps you programmed and enslaved, keeps you in the matrix. That's what the matrix, the red pill, the blue pill. The blue were alpha. They most became evil because evil had magic. Satanists had magic. Now left arm has magic too. So they would always lose to magic, to narcissistic magic, and psychic manipulation and illusion and dimension travel, and they even sell their soul. The soul, don't sell this. This, that, it, 1, 2, 1, 2, keep it on. Listen to the music as the actions going on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, choo choo. Oh, choo choo. Those noises. Yeah, and then they'll associate noises that make that thing reappear all the time, or make you take everything you fixed out and back like it was, or but don't do that. Don't do what I just said. But when they tell you to take everything out, they actually put more in to protect it. So don't touch what you changed positively. And all those objects all start flashing. If you leave your eyes mellow, then another object, and something will is telling you next object, and it'll actually, if you let your head move, the objects where your eyes want to go, your head will move, and then it will keep you on this kind of cone tape thing that ends up into a rose heart center. Like it kind of goes through smaller and smaller and smaller into the rose heart. And roses are fascist. That's why I have the tendency to, and I have a runny nose. So yeah, I won't make this video too long. It's been 45 minutes already. And the noises, you have to kind of think about whatever is bugging you. Think about that thing, and you'll find this wire that you have to let your body move to the music. It'll find the center. It's always where it hurts, and it's gonna make you crunch all that bad sequence and bad energy up, and then you just kind of roll and let your head just fall to where it wants to fall, and you'll naturally pick it up at a certain place, and that's kind of a trail where all the bad habits will stay, and there's a wire all of a sudden all the time. But for that you have to feel the dough. Try to concentrate on what moves inside your head and inside your body. I get these stretch tape tendon things with horny love feeling on them, and then I got these habits of yanking rats up all the time. And whenever I do that, the sequence starts all over. And whenever I roll a joint, I'm always playing around in my nose to make sure I think about doing speed, And I got all these bad habits. It's all from getting in contact. See, now the music changed something, and I found a spot that I had to twirl out. So that's why I started drifting. I could do this all day sometimes, because you're playing with love whenever it touches the nose. And the love is fun, because when you're a father or a chief or a commander, you feel the love all the time, and good girls and women and when some people talk, you'll feel it always in your pants. And if you speak on that, well, they'll love what you said on that. Oh, sorry. So use music, use remastered music that's good. Don't use 80s rock and roll and all that, and let your body move to the music. It has to be resistance music. And then when they move slowly like this, it's actually to stretch out that behavior and correct spasms they add in movements that make you yank rats up or balls up to your cellar. And when you walk, if you re-walk real slowly, you'll notice there's these little reflexes you have all over the place. You might not have much, but they all make you pop something evil that reminds you of something you shouldn't be doing. And when you're always needing something, you're probably infested with rats in those YouTubes. So you have to relax and meditate. And by letting your body, I'll try to make you feel that wire. So when you'll move, you'll notice it whenever you start moving. And then if you have people inside you, you have this toboggan wire tape thing. Like, then you can write on that tape, and that stays. And you can program that tape by speaking on it and say, do this, do that, do this, do that. And the resistance, the good people will get what's on the tape that you don't feel anything. That gives beer. When you touch the love, you stretch the love slowly, you get beer or money or silver. I can feel the tentacles on my fingers. I can feel the energy. I hope you feel that one day. I hope you realize this was a good casting session to give you real ears, to plug you on the rats that manipulate you so that you hear who will swindle you. When you see someone, connect with them and listen. And by connecting with them, you'll hear them think, you'll hear their intentions. And see, I got this tight spot again. I start drifting. I'm always drifting. You know, the men in black, they have this gift that is good. They kind of yank their head like that. I guess I'm a man in black. Crunches, and then those crackling noises that they make you start over. You have to find what makes it start. Think about what makes it start over and crunch it out, and then what puts it back, and then what triggers what puts it back. And it's all a succession of. It's never-ending story. You can twist with these non-stop. But you do notice that your routines, and the last joint I rolled, I wasn't playing with the snot no more. Seems like when you get into this position, everything's reminding you of doing what you shouldn't do and destroying yourself. Anyways, so that was my chakra dancing. They'll think I'm psycho, but humanity is not ready for everything I said because they've been lied to too much and they don't accept anything new, or what they've been told what that was impossible was actually keeping it impossible for them by not believing in it. So I wish you believe, and be careful what you wish for, because you can attract what you want. You can attract money, you can attract love, you can attract hate, you can attract problems, you can attract whatever. You just have to behave like someone that wants to attract what you want, and you'll attract it. You have to speak of it, you have to wish for it, you have to think about it often and believe in it. That's the only thing you should believe in, is in what you wish for the future. That's the only thing you have to believe in, is what you want to become. Then don't believe in anything else. Believe in your truth. So this is about it. And since we're all from the universe, I guess we'll see each other in eternity. If you ever decide to believe that you're light celestial entity from the universe, from the multiverse. They spoke of multiverse one. I'm afraid it exists now because they spoke of it and it's been thought of. So thought you used to be the god of the pyramid. Now people are the kings and god of the pyramids. See, I'm drifting again. I got this bad wiring. Listen to actual music that makes noises. Nintendo core, grindcore, and death metal, black metal, folk punk, especially for local problems. Listen to local language folk and true folk. They know the exact words to tell them to get rid of them. Then when you listen to foreign music, well, they don't have the same team on their backs, so they won't be moving the same time, same sequence, and all that, and doing or ordering the same things or using the same methods. So the folk artists, well, most local artists and underground emerging bands will have the best recipe for the new emerging rats and how to take care of them. It's all keywords and programs. They remote control you. So this is enough. Bye bye. And oh yeah, here's the 20,000, 20 grand, 2 million, 8 million Lotto winnings. There's as much as you want when you're a good man in life. But you got lots of problems, lots of cleaning. It's a permanent job whenever you're always awake and always playing with love. So you cannot really get tired of it because you get to play with love. But you have to wash and undo wires and bad habits and wash rats and figure who does what, figure out who does what, and then have people hurting you, people commanding you in your head. Most of the rats, most girls can just jump in your head and tell you to do something. You have to, so you kind of have to be nice, otherwise they'll play around with your mind and fuck you up all the time. But I don't care. I should not insult them, though, but whatever. They might stop hurting me if I stop insulting them, but I'm so mad at them. I can't. Anyways, I love you. That's what you say. I was made for loving you. You have to love you. You what used to be evil. So fuck you. Fuck you, man. Fuck evil. Fuck them on the fuck switch. What they tell you not to touch, you have to touch. Touch it. Fuck them. Bye bye.